There's no question the Azure announcement that stood out to me was Azure Arc. I think that Microsoft was missing part of the hybrid cloud story, and it's very reflective of where people are today. We find that 76% of respondents that we survey have a hybrid cloud strategy in place. So being able to have that management of on-prem and cloud resources from a common management tool, Azure Arc in that case, I think is a very important step forward for Microsoft. Yeah, I feel like Microsoft woke up this year at Ignite. They've kind of had a lot of these capabilities, and it's historically, they haven't really taken the time to compare themselves to other cloud service providers. This year they did. They kind of dropped the gloves and they said, compared themselves specifically to Google. And I think it's good. I think it's good from a attendee perspective to understand if they may be looking at competing cloud services out there, how Azure can differentiate between what somebody like Google or AWS does. So most companies we talk to have a multi-cloud strategy in place. So it's important that they understand what the differences may be between an Azure, Google, and Amazon. So I think it's nice to see Microsoft call out the competition a little bit at an event like this. Certainly others do so at their events. Multi-cloud's a realistic point where people are today, and they've dipped their toes into clouds for various reasons. So somebody may be using Azure based on their Microsoft footprint, they may be using Google for a different cloud service, they may be using AWS for, I'll say, modern apps that they developed there first. I think right now you're seeing people try those different clouds, and it is realistic of where business are today. I think at some point they'll bend, and we already see some of this, where the majority of their spending will go to a single cloud, but they'll still have multiple clouds in place. They still have to manage, secure, and operate. So when it comes to moving data back and forth, I think it's an important factor to consider, but it all comes, having most architects I see consider that from the very beginning. Now, mistakes are made where they may have to repatriate or move applications back, and there's a cost to doing so. But they've got to understand from the very beginning there's a cost to moving the data. I kind of look at, data ultimately makes the cloud. It's kind of like water in a river. The river isn't going to flow without the water. Cloud doesn't operate without the data moving back and forth as well. So it's important, I think from the very beginning, they understand what the cost of moving data back and forth may be. And the idea of the cloud isn't necessarily to move large quantities of data on a frequent basis, but they need to understand on the times that they need to do so what those costs may be, and they will make decisions based on that cost of movement.